called Kwenda Majuu.
Yes. Why?
Because I think you said Twende Majuu.
Okay, sawa. Okay. We can start again. So good.
Mwafikiria kwenda Majuu? Watu huendaje Majuu? Aje, Majuu kuko aje? Mtu kama Mkenya anaweza aje pata kazi Majuu? Na Wakenya usurvive aje Majuu? Watu huishi wapi? Watu huishi aje Majuu? Have you ever asked yourself any of these questions? If so, the Kwenda Majuu Podcast is for you.
Kwenda Majuu is a podcast hosted by two people with two different perspectives. Person A, my name is Cecilia, and I was born and raised and I work in Nairobi, Kenya. My perspective is based on a Kenyan who was born and raised in Kenya and has not left Kenya to go live or work or study abroad or in a different country, not even an African country. I have never left Kenya. I've always lived here. And so that is the perspective I'll be sharing on this podcast. And then this podcast is also hosted by Person B.
And Person B is me. My name is Wairimo. I'm also Kenyan, and I've had the opportunity to leave Kenya and live abroad. Most recently, I was living and working in Canada for the last almost 5 years. And I'll be contrasting my experience with Cecilia's.
What is the goal of this podcast? Why are we creating this podcast?
The main goal of the podcast is to share personal stories and experiences about how it is to leave Kenya and immigrate to another country. We'll be talking about experiences studying abroad, working abroad, experiences with racism, and how money works outside Kenya, because trust me, money is different once you go to a different country. And we'll talk about other aspects of generally living abroad. And the focus of the podcast will be Canada, because that is where I have lived. That is the place where I have experienced a lot of these things. And I think it's good to share things from a perspective of lived experience.
Yeah. And we want to put out a disclaimer. So we have to put out a disclaimer. It's important for us to put out a disclaimer.
Yes.
The stories that will be shared on this podcast by us, the hosts, or stories shared by the guests who we invite on this podcast, are personal stories. How people have experienced life in various countries. You do not have to agree with us. We do not have to be on the same page. Please be civil, be respectful. Yes. If you're disrespectful, we'll block you.
You can go argue with yourself.
You can go argue with yourself. But no, on a serious note, please be respectful of people's experiences. Immigrating and living in a new country or a different countries has various challenges. I would not know that, but I'm sure you would know that.
Yeah.
So be very respectful of people's stories and people's opinions.
And we also hope to, at some point, hear other people share their stories, their experiences about being Kenyan and living abroad in many different countries. Our overall goal is to build a library of information about the experience of immigrating as a Kenyan. And we hope that as you come along this journey, you will learn the same things we have and also feel validated as if you are somebody who is going through the immigration process.
That's it, yeah. Okay. We should put bloopers at the end.